Good morning. Good morning. And make sure you say hello as I'm hitting live in all the places. I'm not sure I'm live. Am I live? Am I live? Oh, let's go over here and do this one. Good morning, everyone. All right, and then back over here. All right, let me pull this up on my phone. But like I said, make sure you say hello and let me know that you're here, because a lot of times it doesn't show up at all unless I'm on my phone, and I do not want to have you here commenting and I can't see it. So there we go. So, how are you today? And like I said, as you get here, no matter where you're at, if you're on Instagram, you're on YouTube, or you're on Facebook, make sure you say hello so that I can have a conversation with you. You can join in. It just makes it so much more fun when there's people here to talk to. And I know sometimes it's hard for people to get on here right away, but that's okay. That's okay. Let me have a sip of my coffee. And my affirmation and journal prompt today came from some thoughts that I've been having a little bit lately, because I've that program that Sue and I are doing. We had a whole week that we talked about imposter syndrome, and there's so many things that we let hold us back from being our best self, and most of it is inside, right? And so it's really interesting when you think about it, because we are the person, not everybody else, that's keeping us stuck. And so anything that we can do to take our foot off the brake, to actually hit the accelerator and go forward, is what we want to do. And so I'm going to go ahead and share today's affirmation. Give me just a second. Where's the delete button? There we go. All right, so our affirmation for today is: I am on a mission to be my best self, bold, bright, and totally unstoppable. Now, we all, I would think, if you're in this group and you're part of this, good morning. Thank you, Lois. So when you think about it, we all want to be our best self, right? We want to be able to be bold. We want to be able to shine bright and be totally unstoppable. But we keep holding ourselves back. Now, you may be reaching some of these heights already. The thing is I don't think there's a soul alive that doesn't have something that's holding them back. Even people that we see, artists and things that make millions and millions of dollars, or maybe some of these big conglomerate people that have billions of dollars, they still have these insecurity things within them, just like we do. The thing is that they've learned how to get to the other side of it, or they've got other people doing things for them, right? But deep inside, who are we being deep inside? And how can we become this bold, bright, and totally unstoppable us? That's the question, right? So do you have a clue? Do you have an idea? A clue is not the right word. Do you have an idea right now of one thing that goes through your mind when I say, I'm on a mission to be my best self, bold, bright, and totally unstoppable? What comes up for you that could possibly be a limiting belief that holds you back. I know one of the things that held me back for a very, very long time was for one thing, I didn't feel like I knew enough. And if I stepped out and I got too bold and too bright, somebody was going to call me on it. They'd say, "You don't know what you're talking about." And that was such a fear of someone asking me a question that I didn't know the answer to, somebody saying something that made me feel small. And so the easier thing to do was keep myself small so that it wasn't somebody else saying it and doing it to me. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever, but that's what was going on for me. And there were times that I will be honest, when I first started as a coach and I was learning and I'm doing practice clients and I'm doing all these things and I'm feeling good about it. But in the pit of my stomach, I felt like a fraud. I felt like, how can I be teaching people these things? I don't do all these things. How can I teach people how to do this when I don't really feel like I've grasped it completely, right? And so what I would do was I would schedule a call with someone and then I would pray they wouldn't show up. Because if they didn't show up, I didn't have to prove that I didn't know what I was talking about. But I did know what I was talking about. The thing is that I learned along the way was if you know 4 things really well, you can teach someone who knows 2. So you don't have to know it all. Good morning, Lynn. And for some reason, in my heart and in my mind, I thought when I'm telling somebody or helping somebody, teaching someone, that I have to know all the answers. But no, I only have to be a little bit ahead of them because they can relate to me if I'm not miles and miles ahead of them. But it's just changing that. I have done that too, just to yeah, pray that they don't show up. Yeah, yeah. And, that's, I talked, was it yesterday? I talked about the fact that we want to get our voice out. We want to make sure we're not hiding and not helping people. Well, hell, pray. I knew what you meant. I filled in the gap there. Um, but if we're praying that they don't show up, then we're almost praying that they keep their problem and never find a solution. Now that changes it a little bit, right? So when you think about someone who's reaching out to you and you start getting anxious about it, you're just really keeping them stuck where they are. And we're here, we've created change within us, and now we can help others with that change. And it grows and grows and grows as we change, right? Because I started out as a health coach. I definitely was not where I am now, but it's like I learned that and I did very well with it. And then I learned something else and then it changed. And it's like every time I learned something new or opened up a different idea, I started noticing that when people were posting things on Facebook or Instagram, and I was saying, "Oh, I've got an answer for that," and I would respond, right, with some ideas and some thoughts, and they would really love it. I thought, well, wait a minute, maybe I know more about this thing over here than I thought I did. And then I started paying attention to what I was saying to myself and how I could help other people. And so it has grown and become something different. So no matter where you're at today, doesn't mean you're always going to be there. Because remember, the only constant in life is change. So you're changing and growing within yourself, and that changes what you offer to people if you want it to, right? And for me, it's like I'm always open to what is the person in front of me wanting help with? Is there a way that I can help with that? And if so, I'll help them. If not, if I feel like it's way outside of my wheelhouse, I'm not sure I can help, then I find somebody who can and I send them there. I've done that before. I had a hypnosis client that I don't know. It's the only time that's ever happened to me. But when I worked with her, it felt like it didn't feel good. It was like the energy that I had and the energy she had felt like a clash. It didn't feel smooth. It didn't feel like I was helping in the manner that I would like to help. And so I could feel that. Now, she didn't say anything, but I wanted to make sure that I was working with people that I feel comfortable with and that I could help, right? And so after that one session that she had purchased, it was well, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, after that, I messaged her and told her how much I enjoyed meeting her and everything. However, I felt like I wasn't the right fit for her. And before I sent her this email, I went into some of my hypnosis groups and I said, this is the person that I've got. This is the issue that she has. Who is an expert in this? And I had several people that reached out and I talked to the different ones and I said, okay, you're the one. So I sent her all that information because I knew that I was not the person to help her. And so sometimes we're gifting someone with someone else to help if that's what we need to do, right? But being on a mission to be your best self, bold, bright, and totally unstoppable, means that you're open to the change. You're open to new ideas. You're open to new pathways to get where you're wanting to go, right? All right, so, and I think this journal prompt is a little long, but I've already condensed it a little bit. So when I post this in the description, it's going to be slightly different because I'll post the whole thing. But let's see if this shows up. Oh, all right. So I'll just fill in the gaps for you. All right. So our affirmation is, what's the theme song playing in your head when you're being your absolute best? Now, I've shared with you before that one of my hypnosis clients, she was we'd worked together many times for different things, but this one particular time she's a keynote speaker and she was wanting to go to a networking event and not hiding in the back because she was uncomfortable with that scenario. She could get up on the stage and talk because she knew exactly what she was going to say. So anyway, we worked together about how things were going to go for her. And they went exactly the way we talked about. And it was an amazing experience. And I actually have her video testimonial if anybody wants to see it because it was amazing. But she said the thing that was so cool was when she got in her car afterwards, feeling like, oh my gosh, this was amazing. She said she turned on the car and the song that was playing was Girl, You're on Fire. And so that was her theme song for that experience. And that was her theme song going forward for other things. So when you're being your best self, when things are going amazing, exactly the plan, when you show up and you're being your brightest, boldest self, you're totally unstoppable. What's that song that plays in your head? Do you have one? I'm asking you guys. I don't know. I know, Lynn, you're probably at work. But if you can type something in there, do you have a theme song? Do you have something that when you're just being amazing, it kind of comes into the back of your mind? Let me see what's happening over here. All right. So you guys that are over here on Instagram, do you have a theme song that plays when you're being your most bright, brilliant, unstoppable self? Let me know in the comments. So I'm thinking the one that she said was, "Girl, you're on fire," right? And so I'm thinking right now, what is the theme song for me? See, and I should have thought of this a little bit before I got on here, so I would have it ready for you. However, I did not. And so I'm thinking, wow, that does take a little more thought, doesn't it? It certainly does. So I like the "Girl, You're on Fire." Um, I think the one that is coming up for me is "Happy." Is it Will Ferrell? I don't know, whatever. Let's see. I can't think of one right now, but I think it shows up when you least expect it. Yes, yes. So maybe today, as you're going about your day, something will come up, right? Lois says, I'm thinking of two songs, one with Gloria Estefan, "Reach," and then I hear a James Bond theme song. Oh, right, right. Other thing that pops in my head is Aretha Franklin's "Respect," right? There are so many songs that could actually fill that in, right? That could be your theme song. Maybe you have a theme song for the different things that you do, right? So maybe play with that today and see, right? What shows up. So pick one anthem for today. So spend some time this morning as you can and see what theme song shows up and let that play through your head all day. Let it power you through everything you do today. So then after that, take a moment to list out who you're choosing to be and why it feels so good to show up that way. Who are you choosing to be? And why does it feel so good to show up that way? See, the really important part about that is, why does it feel good to show up that way? What about it lights you up? What about that feels like this is my destiny? This is who I am. And it doesn't mean, like I said, it doesn't mean that's who you'll always be, because we're always learning and growing and becoming, right? Let's see, what does this say? I'm preparing to drive to New York for my ex-husband's funeral with my friend and someone that has known him since high school. I'm sure there will be a lot of songs and remembrances that will take us through the drive and journey this weekend. Yes. And our prayers and our thoughts are with you, Lynn, because I know it's not a comfortable thing, but I'm there with you. Okay. So all weekend I'll be sending you some positive thoughts and vibes. I will. So if you're there and all of a sudden you feel this, then you'll know that I'm sending you positive vibes right that moment. You'll know it's from me or from the whole group. Who knows? You might be feeling a lot of that as you go through this weekend. Doesn't that feel good to think of? All right, so I'm going to go back. Let me check real quick and see what's going on over here. All right, so let's go back to our affirmation. I am on a mission to be my best self, bold, bright, and totally unstoppable. Now, remember, anything that comes after the words "I am" are ultra powerful. And I really work to try to make that. I'm smiling and teary-eyed right now. Aw, we got you. We got you. But anything that comes after the words "I am" are so powerful. So choose wisely, right? And then A lot of times I don't have an I am statement for our affirmations, but anytime I can get it in there and make it work, that's what I do. Now, I know it says I'm, which is the same thing, right? So I'm statements, I am statements are exactly going to be powerful things as you say them, right? So I am on a mission to be my best self, bold, bright, and totally unstoppable. And the thing is that I love about this is because sometimes when I create these statements, when I look at it and when I'm talking to you, I think, well, maybe that's too big a stretch for some people. But this doesn't say I am my best self, bold, bright, and totally unstoppable, right? Which to some people would be like, whoa, wait a minute, that's not me yet. That's yet's the big thing, right? But this says I'm on a mission to be my best self. And so that feels congruent because we are all on that mission, right? Doesn't matter how far we may be from it, what we think, how far we think we're from it, because a lot of times it is a comparison to someone else's journey that makes us feel we're so far away from where we want to be. When in actuality, it might be just right around the corner. It might be right here, right now, and you haven't even noticed it. So put this on your index card, your screensaver on your phone, your sticky notes, put it on a piece of paper, put it on your mirror with a chalk marker. I am on a mission to be my best self, bold, bright, and totally unstoppable. And if there's another characteristic in there that you really want for your best self, throw it in there. You can add to it. You can create it however you want it. Maybe your best self has boundaries, better boundaries. I don't know. Only you know. So spend some time with this today and tweak it a little bit to make it show who you are, right? What is your best self? Because your best self and my best self are different because we're different. Just like fingerprints, right? Everybody has a different fingerprint. Everybody has a different personality. Everybody has a different way of doing things. Now, people can emulate you, but they can't be you. And so the gift that you have is unique to you. So it's important to remember that. So when you're on a mission to be your best self, bold, bright, totally unstoppable, or whatever other accolade that you want to put in there, it is you, right? And then the journal prompt. What's the theme song playing in your head when you're being your absolute best? Pick one anthem for today and let it power you through everything you do. So, and if you don't figure out what your anthem is till later, hum something that just makes you feel good, whether because we don't want to make things harder on ourselves, right? So you don't have to have the perfect anthem. Just with this journal prompt, if you take some time in silence, which is what I recommend all the time, you have your journal or your notebook, you put the date, the affirmation, and you write out the journal prompt, right? And so you take 10, 15 minutes in silence, and this is your thought pattern, right? You can say, what's the theme song that plays in my head when I'm being my absolute best? Oh, what would it be? And just as you drop into that silent space, something will play in your head, and it may not make any sense whatsoever, but that's okay. Just play with it, right? It doesn't have to be life and death. It doesn't have to be real serious. It can be just playful, right? And it can be a piece of a song that the whole song may not be congruent with who you are, but a piece of it is. So, because I know I've had songs before that I listened to and I thought, oh, I love that song. But then when I really listened to it, it was like there was a piece that I loved and I didn't like the message on the rest of it. And that's okay too. So just pick out a piece. So right here, right now, one of the things that pops in my head is it's an ABBA song. It's "Money, Money, Money." Um, I don't remember, but that's the thought song just popped in my head, right? And so it could be that something will pop in your head and it's just a piece of a song. Take that and make it yours for the day. Just play with it. And then as you play with that one, another one will come up, and then another one. And then by the end of the day, you'll have the exact song that feels so good to your heart that every time you walk through any door, I'm going to give you an anchor for this one, which is one of the things that I do within coaching and hypnosis, right? So the anchor for you is once you figure out this song that's going to be your anthem, every time you walk through any doorway, whether it's in your house, anywhere else, every doorway, that song is going to pop in your head because it is you being your absolute best. And I have a lot of people that have some confidence issues. And so one of the triggers I give them is anytime you walk through any door, you stand taller and you hold your head up as you walk through the door. So your body is confident and then the inside will follow. And because if you've ever been out people watching, which I love to do, you can tell the people that are confident just by the manner in which they walk. How they interact with people, they smile, right? People that are walking and they're kind of slumped, now, provided they don't have a medical issue, right? But body posture is very telling. And so do they slump? Do they look down? Do they shuffle their feet? You can see mannerisms that appear to be indicative of how they feel inside, right? And so when you can change your body posture to be more confident, then you become more confident. It's kind of like the chicken and the egg thing, which came first? Does it really matter? No, it doesn't. So sometimes we think they walk that way because they're confident, or maybe they're confident because they walk that way. So adopt it. Today, every time you walk through any door. And so if you're driving around, if you're in the car over the weekend, Lynn, every time you get in and out of the car, you stand up and you walk more confident. And let that theme song suddenly appear in your head. And if you're smiling and people say, well, what? You can tell them what you're doing, that it's your theme song, because it's going to be one of the things that will help you through that whole process, knowing that this theme song is for you so that you can be bold, bright, and unstoppable, even under circumstances that are not so good. So pick that anthem, let it power you through everything you do. Take a moment to list out who you're choosing to be and why it feels so good to show up that way. Now, like I said, when I go in to the video in the group and I put the affirmation and journal prompt, everything will be there. So I apologize that it's not all showing up, but I even tweaked it a little bit because I thought, oh, this one's a little long, but it was like everything I wanted to say. So like I said, use today to get yourself more clear on who this amazing you is. And why are you choosing to be who you are. Because remember, we get to choose 100% of the time. It doesn't matter what's happening out there. Who we are is all inside. So we choose how we respond to things, how we respond to people. It's all our choice. And when we make those choices, people notice a lot of times that something's different about you. What is it? Maybe you're normally a little anxious, and now suddenly you're not quite as anxious. Maybe you're normally a little agitated, and suddenly you don't seem so agitated. Whatever it is that you habitually do without even realizing it, this is going to help you to see what those things are, because you're choosing to be your best self, and why it feels so good to show up that way. So you have to be emulating that you to know. So dive deep into this thought today and just gather all the information that you can. And then when you come back in a week, I think you're going to notice a difference. But let's say it takes 30 days for you to really notice a difference. When you come back and you look at this and you see what you wrote out, then you're going to be like, wow, I love that I'm becoming exactly who I said I wanted to become. I need to get my glasses adjusted so I quit having to push them up on my face. All right. So I love you guys more than you know. And then today is Thursday. So what does that mean? Thursday. Oh. Tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern, I knew it meant something to me, is the Stand Up and Stand Out party. If you can be there, definitely join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see everybody there. And let's just have a good time. Let's be our best self, our bold, bright, and totally unstoppable self. And I will hopefully see you tonight, 5 p.m. Did I say 5 p.m.? Yes. Yes, 5 p.m. Eastern. And then tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, I will be here once again. And I look forward to being with you again. And anybody that needs a little bit of more help with some of this stuff that we're talking about, definitely reach out to me, because I'm doing specials all the time. I've got a few spots open in my calendar right now. They're not actually on my calendar because I just found a few spots that I thought, okay, I can put somebody in here if they really need it. I can put someone in here. So it's not on my calendar. But if you're wanting to get a little bit of help, then reach out, and then we can have like a little 15-minute conversation that enables me to see what you're looking for and if I can help. And if I can, I will tell you that. And if not, I'll tell you that as well. It's a no pressure anything, right? So have an amazing day filled with, oh, hold on a second. Can't come tonight. I'm going to be on a podcast from New Zealand, but hope to catch the next one. Oh, okay. I'm hoping to be with my friend tonight during the party so I can show her how much fun it is. Oh, okay. Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I love it. So have an amazing day today, feeling your bold, bright self every time you walk through a door. That's who you are. And I will see you either tonight or I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah.